Hey guys, Maxie here and welcome to another TEW video with the WWE in 2021. WrestleMania's passed, Backlash has passed, and now the Raw brand will bring to you Extreme Rules. For the first time, and probably the save, Extreme Rules actually will have a few stipulation matches. Usually I just went with the best match rating possible, but not in this instance. I've certainly went ahead and put a few stipulations in there. Few gimmick matches, so the ratings here probably won't be as high as you would normally get, but a lot of them have storyline implications going forward. I have most of the Raw side of Money in the Bank booked out, which is of course the next co-branded pay-per-view in the month of June. Next week we will have a pay-per-view, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it is for SmackDown. In fact, let me just have a quick look. Judgment Day for SmackDown, and we have Money in the Bank next month, followed by the Mixed Match Challenge, which at the moment I'm just putting some pairings together. If you want, put some options in what you think could be good pairings for the Mixed Match Challenge. I don't believe I'll have it booked completely by the time this video is out, and of course there'll be a few shows in between, so every chance any suggestions can get put forward. I think I've maybe got one or two partnerships put together. That aside, just one wee note. I don't tend to do this, but I feel it's probably deserved in this instance. I'm going to look to tweak Ronda Rousey's stats in-game. I feel like in-game they're really poor because obviously it wasn't. She wasn't even interested in the WWE on a permanent basis. It was really just lots of speculation. Bear in mind this started in 2016. So because of the performances, one at WrestleMania, and then of course at Money in the Bank just there in real life, we're going to tweak them a little bit. Won't make it too much overdone, but to an extent of where she can at least put a respectable match together with the likes of, our Sasha's, Charlotte's and Becky's, considering how good a match she got out of Nia Jax. So we'll look to do that. But yeah, as I say, we are on Extreme Rules today. Just the usual, any comments on the series, please put them below. If you did download from the Backlash video the data for this, let me know how you've been booking it yourselves. But yeah, just in general, any feedback, how your own saves are getting on, shares, likes, subscriptions, all that jazz, much appreciated. So, without me blathering on much longer, we'll kick on with the show we've got booked, because I've got a lot of things I'll need to explain as we go through with it. So, the good thing about us now being a global company means we can obviously address and bring in a lot more fans to our pay-per-views or special events, however you wish to call them. So we've managed to attract just short of 63,379, and our show today will take place at the University of Phoenix Stadium in Arizona. This is going to be on our pay-per-view provider, so everywhere across the world. I usually tend, as you know, for the SmackDown pay-per-views to be on the WWE Network alongside a women's event. I'm penciling that women's event in for July because of the Mixed Match Challenge. I'm delaying it by a month. Again, if you get any ideas for a pay-per-view name we can give the women, please let me know. It'll be deeply considered. As well as more nicknames again, or we could call it a tag team of Elias in English. Still haven't decided what I want to go, so I'm still willing to take more suggestions on what we could make that. But anyway, on to the show. So, usual, we start every single pay-per-view show, the hype video, pyrotechnics, getting you hyped up for tonight's main event. And I've went with a fatal four-way combining two feuds together, the WWE Championship. Dean Ambrose, Daniel Bryan, the champ, Chad Gable and The Miz. This is really the case of Dean Ambrose is just desperate to take that WWE Championship from Daniel Bryan. The Miz, we're kind of teasing something between him and Bryan, but at the same time, it's that whole contrast of amateur wrestler and Chad Gable, and this charismatic egomaniac from Hollywood or Cleveland, depending on how you want to do it, The Miz. So B+83, and that will be our main event for tonight. Start the show with a promo just after the hype video, and it is basically Pete Dunne hyping up his matchup with Aleister Black. Pete Dunne's really just been about for a couple of years, kind of had stop-start pushes, and he just feels like, there's no real hype about him. It's a shame how all these other wrestlers are getting the spotlight and he's not. So he's going to make Aleister Black tap out, and he's going to start his own rise up the WWE ranks. B79 for the promos, which is okay. He clearly enjoyed being off script, and it got the crowd hotter. And yeah, he looked good in doing so as well. So this leads to a decent matchup, which sees Aleister Black pick up the win over Pete Dunne in a submission match in 13:52. B81 I'm pretty happy with. It got the crowd hotter. Now the reason we've had Aleister Black winning, you really don't tend to see babyfaces tap out in submission matches unless there is some shenanigans. And because of shenanigans planned for later in the show, I just felt it was right to put the babyface over. And it gives Pete Dunne excuses going forward, but it also keeps Aleister Black looking very strong. So decent opener in a submission match, the first of many gimmick matches tonight. We'll then have an open challenge with James Ellsworth, and he's decided, that he's going to take on any wrestler on the Raw roster, and if he loses, then James Ellsworth is going to leave the Raw brand. So a B-73 because he was challenged by none other than Okada. So he came out of this looking excellent. James Ellsworth didn't look good. And of course, that results in something. Let me just quickly see. It was right. So I was going to turn James Ellsworth face. But I change of plan, so I'm not going to turn James Ellsworth. But that plan I can't really put into place just now. But anyway, extremely short match as you would imagine. Okada defeats Ellsworth 3:39 with a German suplex, a C-58. Okada looks excellent. Far better performance than Ellsworth. Basically, because a lot of this won't be broadcast on YouTube, because it's going to be mostly off-line stuff when it's the Raw SmackDowns, he's not going to SmackDown. I'm actually going to take him to the Women's Revolution show and basically job him out on there. But at the same time, this whole intergender championship thing he had going might bring something like that in. So I'm really just trying to get a proper storyline, but he will be moving to that brand. May even end up taking up a manager's role, not with Carmella because she's not with the company anymore, but with another female wrestler. But that's how we're going to utilise James Ellsworth. Because to be honest, on Raws, he was just getting his ass kicked every week, basically. So after the match, James Ellsworth decided he's had enough, picks up his bag, and he is out of here. Done from the Raw roster. So that is an E+35. Of course, James not over. Next up, we've got a promo. EC3 cuts one on Big E. They've had a good lot of feud going. As a B78 EC3 just saying, people at Big E that think they're funny, but at the end of the day, he's the 1%er. He's the funny guy. He's the guy about here, and Big E's just in his way of getting to the top. So we gave them a steel cage, and it was another decent wrestling match. They didn't have much heat. We had Big E defeat EC3 in 12:01 with a big ending, a B-75. Steel cages are obviously going to limit what they can do, hence the poor in-ring performances. But again, it's very hard to make a heel win that kind of match with shenanigans, so I feel like we'll put the babyface over. EC3 is going to have excuses, and with being a classical steel cage match, they just need to take the pinfall in the match. Disappointingly, EC3, like a lot of our members of the roster, have actually been hit with declining physical ability. So that's like EC3, Kofi Kingston, AJ Styles, John Cena, a few others, Cesaro, Chris Hero. So we're going to have to start phasing these guys out. I'm going to ask you guys this as well. When you get a guy that's in physical decline, do you keep them until they retire? Or do you just let them go as soon as possible and they may continue their career in a different company? Let me know what you guys do in that kind of instance, because I'm quite reluctant to let a lot of these guys go. Next up, Zelina Vega's talking to her client, Andrea Cien Almas, ahead of his match tonight. It is a 2 out of 3 falls match for the Intercontinental Championship as he challenges Seth Rollins yet again. That match is the co-main event tonight, so it's just really a promo during the show to build up to that later. Zelina looked lost, Almas like a real star, and an A93 segment. Next up, with the European Championship on the line in a 6-man ladder match, so again another gimmick match. It was a decent matchup where we saw Tommaso Ciampa pick up the win over Jason Jordan, Shane Strickland, Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll and Bo Dallas in 1857 when he retrieved the championship belt. So new champ. I just felt like Bo Dallas is above the European Championship, if I'm honest. So a quick way to get him off the title there. And quite excited to see what I can do with Tommaso Ciampa. To be honest, he's probably above it as well, but gives him something to do, and we can change some feuds up. So a B78, not bad considering, of course, a ladder match, which don't seem to be highly rated in this. Bo and Ciampa with the best performances. Let's have a look here. A couple of skill improvements, which is always good to see. And because we have to keep the likes of Bo Dallas looking strong, there's going to be booking decisions, penalties, plus a few guys with poor morale. I never know what to do with Will Ospreay. It's quite a shame, but it's just one of those things. Next up, the team of Elias, Nate and English cutting a promo as they're getting ready to defend their tag team championships. That's a A90. And they defend it in a fatal 4-way tag team elimination match. It was a decent matchup, and it saw a surprise win for the Coffey Brothers, who become the Raw Tag Team Champions, or the WWE World Tag Champions, as they defeat the Golden Lovers, Elias, Nate and English, and the American Wolves. In 1405, the order of elimination first was the American Wolves, then the Golden Lovers, and then finally Elias, Nate and English. During the matchup, we had Kenny Omega turn his back on his Golden Lover, Kota Ibushi, and of course Ibushi head and shoulders above everyone else. A B78, new tag champs, and a quick turn with no build up to it, sharp as you like. I just felt like, yes, it's time. I want to try as much as I can to get Kenny Omega to that main event level. Above average, turns a complete success. How's that for a summer program? Ibushi versus Omega. Could that be the feud that gets Kenny up to the WWE Championship and possibly finally allow him to be over enough to get that? So I'm going to try one last time with him and hope that Ibushi can be the man. And I'm quite excited for a run in the tag team division as champs, especially for Mark and Joe Coffey as well. So overall, very happy with that. Only a B78, but again, booking decisions for protecting Ibushi. Short matchup because it was 14 minutes and you had 4 teams here. But yeah, overall, still pretty pleased with its placing in the card. So a few new champs so far. After the matchup, the champions celebrate. This is of course Joe and Mark Coffey celebrating to a B77. So their move to Raw has certainly been successful for them so far. And then we just decide to have Kenny Omega and Ibushi in a brawl, and Kenny Omega just beats the shit out of Ibushi. So A90, Ibushi comes across well. As I say, hopefully this can really push Kenny's overness. Got a promo next, John Cena on Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is hell-bent in seeing the end of John Cena, constantly putting him through tables, hence our stipulation of a table match. John Cena's decided, no, I'm having no more of this. I'm going to put Drew McIntyre through a table and show that I can still hang with the best of them. So B plus 88. Match itself was good wrestling, decent wrestling, and Drew picks up the win over Cena in 13:44 when Cena's put through a table. You can see there, poor rating, again because of the stipulation. It will take a bit of a hamper on the rating, but Cena's struggling in a 13-minute match, a 71 performance to Drew's 89, so it's really a case of taking the overness that Cena has and trying to put it on Drew. But that aside, there you go, your declining physical ability, your stamina. Again, it's when do you face John Cena out, and just decide, thanks, but enough is enough. Next up, we got an over the top, spectacular entrance from Bray Wyatt, A93, as he heads into his match with Jey Uso. So, pretty pleased with that. The match itself had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. We saw Bray Wyatt pick up the win over Jey in 21:01 with a standing senton splash following interference from Samoa Joe, who's back from injury and wanted to put himself right in the main event scene of the Raw brand. 2 good performances there. Bray was tiring a little bit. I certainly feel the overness helped this rather than the performances, but a good win for Bray, makes him look really strong. After the matchup, just have Samoa Joe verbally berating Jey Uso, just saying, if people you taking my spots should get your ass back to SmackDown. We're just going to be another victim to the Samoan submission machine. So Samoa Joe returns 2089. Seth Rollins next with a promo on Andreas Cien Almas before their matchup. So it's a B plus 88. It's the same old spiel. Well, he's just a fighting champion, a la real life until Dolph Ziggler got the win on him. And their match was very good as well. Great wrestling and good heat. Seth Rollins defeats Andreas Cien Almas in 29-13 by 2 straight falls, with the final fall happening after God's last gift. Seth Rollins makes his second defence of the Intercontinental title. Again, a solid A93. 2 good performances here. I don't think the defeat's going to cost Andreas Cien Almas anything. And even if we had a bit more heat, that could have possibly been a 94-95, so that would have been interesting. Main event time, Miz with a promo on Chad Gable. Disappointing B plus 83. I expect much better from the Miz. But he's basically just obviously just saying, you know, I've done this, I've main evented WrestleMania, I beat The Rock at WrestleMania. What have you done? A promo from Bryan, just saying he's going to keep his championship, beat these 3 other guys, and do it for the Yes Movement. So A92 there. So clash of styles here, so I'm really intrigued to know how it goes down. Wow, actually exceeded expectations. I was a wee bit worried there about the promos. Overall, good matchup for this Fatal 4-Way. Daniel Bryan defeats Dean Ambrose, Chad Gable and The Miz in 28-29 when Daniel Bryan defeated Dean Ambrose by pinfall, making his second WWE Championship defence. A-Star 97, so a pretty pleasing end to the show. Gable's getting better at his gimmick and it's a good spotlight for him. Bryan and Ambrose have the far better in-ring performance, but as I say, Gable and Miz will get their opportunities as time goes along. Few positives there, that's good to see, and yeah, a few negatives, but overall, pleased with the show. We do lose down to A91, I believe that's probably because of, I'd imagine, the James Ellsworth factor, maybe a poorer promo by The Miz maybe cost us. But overall, we don't lose pop, that's the main thing. We're at a stage now where it's very hard to gain pop, regardless, so if we can just keep putting in solid shows, I'm going to be very, very happy, but as you can see, that's just the Raw brand, that's how stacked we are. You imagine when we combine, you know, the SmackDown brand of next week into Money in the Bank the following week, or the following week's show anyway on YouTube. But yeah, pretty happy with that. Gives us a couple of feuds going forward. I think we'll just compliment Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and Chad Gable because of their spectacular performance in the main event. So Bryan's pleased, Miz and Gable. We're just going to quickly, hopefully, cut back to the main screen. We check on Kenny's overness, and then I'll get the head down and start booking to Judgment Day. And there we've got a massive holy shit moment. Oh dear, this is going to change everything. We've lost Roman Reigns. Shit. Well, that was interesting. So basically, with Roman Reigns, he wanted a big contract. Obviously, money's not a problem. I was quite happy to offer him big money. But the issue with Roman Reigns was 5-year deal at 80,000 a week. And the way I looked at that, he's going to be 40, and if he gets a physical decline, it's not great. Plus, I felt like as well, I could have obviously offered a lot more and I'd have been fine with that, but him going to New Japan does kind of turn this upside down and kind of adds a bit more intrigue to it. So we need to then realise Roman Reigns isn't going to carry this company. Who is going to carry this company forward? And it puts a bit more pressure on me as well. So I'm quite happy with that. So I honestly thought we'd keep him. That's me just learned in real time that he is going. So we'll need to plan ahead on that. So that's going to make next week's Judgment Day a very interesting pay-per-view. But we shall see. Wow. If any of you did that happen, let me know if you've had a main star leave. Or be pinched. I suppose if you're doing the kind of mods in the olden days, you would have likely have saw this. But hey, it happens. We've lost big stars before. We'll be fine. Our stats are things giant anyway. Wow. Roman Reigns will be leaving due to signing with New Japan, who you're at war with. Does that mean he's away already? By the way, 4.71 for Extreme Rules. Drug testings, 9k. It's a bit disappointing in the fact that Velveteen Dream now is just going to get no more attribute boosts, because obviously he was the apprentice and the mentor was, of course, Roman Reigns. So that's slightly disappointing. Let's have a look. I'm sure, is Roman away yet? I wonder when he actually leaves. Would tell me here. Well, you can see there anyway, a few people that's going. Dash Chizako, Sammy Baines. Roman leaves in 17 days. Interesting. We'll see if we can work something out with that. It's a nice wee swerve because I had Roman Reigns pitched for a big match at Money in the Bank, but well, that's cool. That's fine. That's added a little bit to the booking, but yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Let me know what you thought of that. Absolute surprise there that we've lost Roman. And yeah, as always, as I said earlier, thanks for watching. It's much appreciated. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Let me know what you thought of it. And hopefully I'll see you next Sunday for what will be our Judgment Day. Cheers for watching. Bye bye.